The men's quarterfinals are set at Wimbledon, and unfortunately for Novak Djokovic, he was the last one in. You see, his match got delayed about 18 hours. Now, FedHeads, Fed fans such as myself, we're really upset about this. We're starting a petition here at Coffee Break Tennis so that justice can be demanding that Wimbledon serves justice for Djokovic fans so that Djokovic can get some extra... Oh. Mr. Goat doesn't like those sounds. Let me try that again. We are starting a petition demanding that Wimbledon serve justice for Djokovic fans and give him some extra rest time so he has a fair shot at Roger. By the way, Rafael Nadal is out of the tournament. Oh my, could anything else happen that's so great? It's a happy day for FedHeads. Hit the music! That's good. Coffee Break Tennis. Welcome to Coffee Break Tennis. I am your beloved host, Matt Bradshaw, the original Fedhead, possibly the biggest Roger Federer fan around the entire world. And I'm wearing my Christmas tennis shirt today because this is WIMBLEMAS. This is our Christmas, and Federer Claus has given us some really nice things. In fact, I'm going to get into that later in the show. Some of the statistics on what Roger is doing right now at Wimbledon will blow your mind. Not just the serving. There's some shocking return statistics. I won't give it away. Hang around, because we're going to get into that later. You'll be blown away by some of this stuff. I really dug deep into the numbers to find this for you, Fedheads. Not the stuff you could just see when you click stats at the Wimbledon site. You got to go through all the numbers, add them up, average them out, then you find the goodies. So Rafa Nadal is out, and you know what? I originally called this match against Gilles Muller as major danger for Rafa. And then I fell victim to the first week that, admittedly, all the pundits out there on TV, they were all saying that Rafa looks the best out of everyone. And, you know, to his credit, I said the same thing. I said, you know what? Federer is serving the best, but overall, Rafa looks the best. And a couple of you guys out there and girls have made fun of me a little bit for that one, saying, how's Rafa look now? Look, I wasn't fighting for Rafa to stay in this thing. I know he's a threat to Federer, but I did say I hope he gets to the final, and I hope he's really tired from guys like Muller and Cilic, who are big servers that Rafa always struggles with on this surface. He always will. Part of it's just the way he returns. You know, I was hoping that Rafa would get through really tired in 5-setters, and then would be easy pickings for Fed in the final, because I want to crush that Nadal is the real GOAT. A lot of people out there say, oh, well, yeah, he's got less majors, but his head-to-head over Roger is too good. Well, right now, Roger's got 4 wins in a row against Rafa. I would have loved to see a 5th one, especially in the Wimbledon finals, but that's gone. Also, I really love Rafa. If it wasn't for Roger, I'd probably be a big Rafa fan. I like Djokovic and Murray too, but Rafa's awesome. Admit it. He's amazing. People love him for a reason, but the bottom line is, everything about his game that he's really good at, it doesn't get rewarded at Wimbledon. First off, his return. You know, he likes to get way back. He likes to see which way the ball's going so he can wind up, set up, and really rip that thing back there. Wonderful on clay. Works pretty well on hard court. Doesn't work as well at Wimbledon, where time is very precious, and you're giving time away when you do that. You're losing time, and you're giving your opponent more time to get into the net, to set up, to take the ball early, whatever. That's part of why Roger does so well at Wimbledon, because he's the king of taking your time away, the opponent, and he's also really good at utilizing the little time that he's given to maximum effect. So Rafa's reluctant to step in and take the return early. Sorry, that's not going to work at Wimbledon. Rafa's the weakest of the servers out of the big 4. You could definitely argue that. He's definitely nowhere near the server that Roger Federer is. And that's not going to help you out at Wimbledon, not going to win you points. And also, you know, what is Rafa the king of besides clay? He's the king of the monster topspin forehand that gets up really high. Well, at Wimbledon, it doesn't get up really high. It's the one place where his biggest weapon, that forehand, is neutralized. So, sorry, Rafa. Great effort. He almost willed it. He almost made it in that 5th set against Mueller. Mueller played amazing. Credit to him. The Luxemburger. I had a Luxemburger for dinner last night, in fact, to celebrate the win. Because let's admit it. I wanted to see Roger Rafa final, and I still want to see it. I hope it happens one year. I don't know, though. This was really the best shot we had at it. But I hope it happens, and like I said, I would have loved to see Roger beat Rafa in the Wimbledon final and avenge 2008. Let's move on. On to Djokovic. First off, let's talk about the snubbing with the center court debate yesterday. Roger finished up. It was pretty obvious that Nadal was going to go for a while with Mueller. They should have put Mannarino Djokovic on center court right away, close the roof, flip on the lights, whatever, get the match done. All these guys deserve the same amount of rest. I understand why Djokovic fans would be upset, even though I poked fun at it in the beginning of the show. But at the same time, as a Federer fan, I'm happy. I'll take it. He's almost 6 years older than Djokovic, so a little more rest for Roger. I'm going to take it. Another problem for Djokovic is the arm. Obviously, if you watch the match this morning, Djokovic had to have the trainer come out. They were working on the shoulder, the arm, somewhere in there, probably a little bit of both. Something's bothering him. The commentators pointed out his average serve speeds, first and second, they're dropping. Djokovic is not getting as much on the serve, so something's going on with the arm. And I don't know if Djokovic will be able to make it past Tomas Berdych, who's actually playing really well. I'd like to see Djokovic make it to the semifinals and meet Roger there, who I think is going to get past Raonic pretty easy, but we'll get into that later. And I would like to see revenge for 2014-2015 because, honestly, FedHeads, I know Djokovic is the scary guy in the draw, and let's hope he gets healthy. I don't want to see any of these players hurting. I don't want to see him get injured. I don't want to see Roger win because somebody's injured. But let's be honest, with Roger being 6 years older, the shoulder arm injury, the less rest for Djokovic, we're going to take it all. Admit it, FedHeads. If Djokovic had lost to Mannarino this morning, we'd all be throwing a big party because he's the big threat in the draw. He's the scary match looming ahead for Roger. But honestly, I want to see the revenge for 2014 and 15, and I really think that Roger will be able to handle Djokovic this year. No problems, maybe 4 sets. I don't even think Djokovic takes him to 5. I think Federer can win that in straight sets. And finally, Federer Claus himself, who has given us some very nice presents for WIMBLEMAS. Let me tell you, some of these stats I'm about to share with you are really surprising, very impressive, and a great sign for Roger Federer. We're going to get into that right after this funny commercial that I made.
All right, buddy, second serve, match point. Let's just kick it to his backhand. It hasn't returned one of those all match.
Shh, they're going to hear it.
I know.
I can't kick it. My elbow's killing me.
Your elbow's killing you, but it's just 1 point. Just do it. Just try it.
I haven't kicked this since the first set.
Do you want to win or not?
Yes. Okay.
All right, just do it.
All right.
Click up here to check that one out. You want to get my tennis elbow specific dynamic warm-up if you haven't picked it up already. It's totally free, and if you play tennis, you'll thank me for it later after you start using this before your matches. Anyways, on to the promised statistics for Roger Federer. First off, let's do the obvious, the serving. Roger Federer's first serve is the best out of the big 4, the win percentage on it. Very good. He's getting it in pretty often, but he's hitting it so big that the average first serve in is not as high as some of the other players, but it's still pretty good as it needs to be for Roger to win for sure. But what really stands out is the second serving statistics, because Roger Federer is winning more on second serve than anybody left in the tournament. He's beating them all. And he's beating them all by a lot. If you were watching the Dimitrov match where Federer put on quite a show, the commentators were marveling at the fact that Roger is winning compared to the average of everyone else in the tournament, 20% more. 20% more on second serve, Roger's winning. So to put that in perspective for you guys, let me throw out some names. Marin Cilic, Milos Raonic, Tomas Berdych, those guys, right? The big servers, they're all serving 59%. That's how often they win on their second serve. 59%. That's a good number. Roger's average on second serve, 72%. So you would argue these are the best servers. These guys are the guys coming with the big bombs, and they all have great aim. They're ace machines. Well, Roger is winning more than them on the second serve by a lot, 13%. That's great. Now, Murray and Djokovic are doing well in this statistic too, but they're mid-60s. Roger is still above 70. Every single match, Roger Federer is averaging over 70% on his second serve. Every match, except for the first against Dolgopolov, but that was only a set in a few games. Don't really count that. I think if it went to a full 3-set match, Roger would have let that number go up, and it would have been over 70%. And then on first serve, Roger's over 80%, or at least very close in the high 70s, on every single match he's played so far. He is way ahead of everyone in this statistic. This is a great sign for Roger. And finally, on return, this is mind-blowing for me. You always hear that, Roger is not as great of a returner as a Djokovic or a Murray. Well, guess what? Roger is returning with the best of them. In fact, he's tied with Rafa, who many would argue is a better returner than Roger, and he is right behind who many would argue are the greatest returners in history in Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic. Roger at 42%, just behind 45, 44 Murray and Djokovic, respectively. Now, here's where things get interesting. Remember how earlier I was saying Rafa's skills aren't as rewarded on grass as they are on other surfaces? Well, the funny thing is, before he went up against a great server who gets aided by the grass, Rafa was 46% before he lost to Mueller. So that means he was winning more than anyone on return, more than the great Murray and Djokovic. And it got neutralized a little bit by the grass because a great server, his great serve is going to be rewarded and be even greater when it hits that grass surface and stays low and moves quickly away from the returner. So all these guys are going to take a hit when they go against a great server, but here's the best part for FedHeads. Roger is the only truly great server of this bunch. He's got 10,000 career aces. Their returns are going to go down when they have to deal with Roger's serve, but Roger is still going to be returning about 42% because these guys, better servers than who Roger's faced so far, but not truly great servers like Roger is. This should be very scary to everyone at Wimbledon, and that's why I'm going to predict that Milos Raonic loses in straight sets to Roger come tomorrow in the quarterfinals. I don't see how Milos Raonic can win. I just don't see it. How is he going to break the guy who's winning over 80% on the first serve, over 70% on the second serve? I don't see it, and I know Milos is serving great, but I understand in the 5 sets against Zverev, he got broken a few times. I didn't watch it. I was busy watching Roger and Rafa, but I heard that Milos got broken a lot. That's it. That's a wrap. Federer just needs 1 break per set, and I still like Federer in the tie breaks. I like him. I like him. I like him a lot. Milos Raonic is going down to straight sets, which is going to be really great. I'm going to play the clip for you guys at the end of the show so you can see my Thank You, Mr. Wimbledon song where I made all these predictions that are coming true so far. No bagel against Dimitrov. That was a little bold prediction, but still a straight sets win. We'll take it. The bottom line, FedHeads, if Roger can keep these numbers going on return, on serve, the tournament is his. No one will stand a chance, and we will have a wonderful WIMBLEMAS on Sunday. Like I said, I got the Christmas tennis shirt on. I'm ready for Federer Claus to give me all of my presents.
'Tis the season to be merry.
Well, that's my name.
Oh, shit.
Well, that is about all the time for me today, FedHeads. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy this tournament. This is a special one for us FedHeads, and like I said, those numbers really show that we got nothing to be worried about. If you're having fun watching Wimbledon like I am, join me. Follow me on Twitter at CoffeeBreakTENS, CoffeeBreak10s. Also, click right here. We're Crunch Time Coaching. If you're a tennis player, you need to download my tennis elbow specific dynamic warm-up. You'll thank me for it later when you never develop tennis elbow in your life. We are a tennis player's ultimate resource. We're here to make you guys better, to help you guys win more out there, just like Roger Federer. I'm off, like I said before, to teach tennis to juniors with my partner in crime, Peter Freeman. Maybe I'll even smack a couple backhands down the line and pretend that I am Roger Federer inside my Fed head. Thanks for watching. That was really good. Really, really good. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.